End of the week, we talked about our sales figures, and looks like we've just closed 7 new clients this week. There he is.
Welcome.
This is me, and this is Kenny, and this is our virtual assistant business, Sprint VA. We're on a mission to get to 1,000 clients by the end of 2027. Whatever could go wrong. Anywho, enough intro. Let's get into it. Okay, episode 2 of the road to 1,000 clients. Excited to be at the podcasting studio. I'm going podcasting today, meeting up with Paul Avins, who's a great partner of ours, great believer in what we do. And we're going to be doing some interviews. He's going to interview me for his Grown Up Business podcast. And we're going to be sharing some stories. So excited about that, but it's absolutely peeing it down rain-wise. And I'm just sort of holding out, not wanting to run, but hey, let's go do this. So let's go. Oh my God, it's so horrible.
You gotta love Britain. Oh my God, you've just gotta love it. It's absolutely cats and dogs.
All right, we've arrived at Creative Content Studio, and the main man, Mr. Paul Avins. There he is.
Welcome. This is going to be an epic conversation. Trust me, it's going to be mind-blowingly good. We're going to go detailed and deep dive into things that he doesn't normally talk about. So check it out. It's going to be great when it comes live. Be live in the next few weeks. Check it out.
And the name of the podcast is
The Grown Up Business Podcast.
We're here.
Let's go.
Eventually.
Anyway, it's been nice. I'll see you later.
See you later.
That's it.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, you
appreciate you being on the show.
Anytime. It's been emotional. God knows what happened in the last few minutes.
We've lost 45 minutes already and we haven't even started, yeah, right? Cool.
Meanwhile.
All right, you want to give me a countdown? When are we good? We're good. All right, cool. So welcome along to this episode of the Grown Up Business Podcast. This is for you if you are an entrepreneur and you really want to understand how to scale fast, if you want to understand how to exit businesses, if you also really want to know the secrets and go behind the curtain to what it really takes to win on LinkedIn in 2024 and 25, like what it's really going to take to do that and how you can create an avalanche of leads off LinkedIn, how you can do that. And then today's show is exactly what you've been waiting for. So super excited to have Richard Woodsby in the show. Thanks, man, for being here. You are an award-winning 3 times bestseller, right? Which is awesome. Keynote speaker, investor. You've built and sold 3 businesses.
Yep.
You're also the creator of LinkedIn for Breakfast, which is a massive community. One of your books is called The $1 Million Sprint, which we're going to talk about that. And not only that, in the last 12 to 14 months, you've taken your latest business and built it and scaled it from 1 person to 100 people.
It's 154 now.
154. Well, that is insane. Absolutely insane. So we definitely want to talk about that because I think one of the biggest blocks for people when they're building businesses is like how to scale teams, right? Especially in service-based businesses, that becomes a real challenge, right? So clearly you've kind of cracked the code on that. Plus, you were at one point in your career on The Apprentice, which, you know, I don't think you won it though, right? You didn't, you got close.
No, I got close.
In all the years that I have run this task, and this has got to be one of the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Woods.
It's a real interesting experience, I'm sure we can chat about. So let me ask you a question. First of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Secondly, when did you know you were an entrepreneur or that you weren't going to be an employee?
I think it's a really interesting question. So when I was younger, I grew up in an entrepreneurial household. My dad set up his business with his brother, and my brother and I were really close together. And so we used to go see him in his office and see him with his staff, and he had an oil distribution business. So he had a big yard and big oil tankers, and it was in the 80s, so there was oil all over the floor and nobody cared about the environment and all the rest of it. And it was just had this kind of smell and this aura and this sort of vibrance to it. And I just don't know whether or not I knew that I had an entrepreneur in me, or I just saw it as being, I want this.
Right.
This is what I want. And he had, I remember we bought this new oil terminal, and he came in.
He bought an oil terminal?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's quite a story. and we went in, there was this big open office in there. And I was like, oh, who works in here, Dad? And he's like, well, that's where the telesales team works. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay, that's cool. And then we went down this aisle, and there was this little office in here, and he said, I was like, oh, who works in there? And he says, oh, that's where Jan, my secretary, works. I was like, oh, okay, great. And he opened this door, and went in there, and there's this massive room in there with a big sofa and these views out, and it says, who works in there? And he was like, that's my office, and I was like, I want that office. That's
the
what I
vision.
want.
He gave you a vision at that point.
It was, and I still remember it now. Actually, it's quite nice. I haven't even had that. You know, when you have a memory you haven't gone back to. A lot of fun, loads of great content that happened there at the at Paul Avins podcast. What a great studio this is! But here's something that I say. Here's a lovely, beautiful old house. Okay, so that comes the end of today. What a week! Finished the week Friday. It's time to go down the pub and have a non-alcoholic beer because I don't drink these days and celebrate. But yeah, great week. The journey to 1,000 clients has started. And by the end of the week, we'll talk about our sales figures. And looks like we've just closed 7 new clients this week, which is great. So I was just leaving the house, but it's 7. So it's great. So look forward to sharing exactly how those figures look in episode 8. But deal with a couple of slow ones and celebrate the weekend.